For over 8 decades, the SABC has been at the forefront of broadcast radio and television. Bringing joy and happiness to the homes of many, while continually redefining South Africa's media landscape.
Three, two, one, I'm out.
That just concluded a short while ago.
And that's it for Morning Live, and we'll be back tomorrow. We believe in a plurality of voices, and we give expression to every voice in our nation through language and through culture.
We do not just bring you the news, we provide content that is independent and impartial.
For SAFM Sports, I'm Zai Khan. Well, we don't just broadcast sports, we do it for the love of the game.
When we come back on that crossing to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that's one.
Now let's take you live to the State Capture Commission sitting in Johannesburg.
We ensure that everyone in our nation is informed, educated, and entertained.
All the while knowing that at this age, there's more yet to come.
Yes, party people, it's the Naked DJ from Metro FM, the coolest radio station 8 years running. Here at your SABC, we do not just entertain, we deliver local content representing Mzansi for sure, baby. Yes!
Alright, yo, masikwamkela apha emqubeni kumhlobo wenene FM. Siqala iveke entsha kungomvulo ezintsukwini. Wathela kunye no-Amaza Njanga, ukhona umaziswana Zizo Chwethe, ubongani phayana equlunqeni kanti no-Archbishop Sepho Machaya ezindleleni. Okwethu sileziko lezosasazo kuqinisekisa into yobana sikuphathela ulwazi. Siyakufundisa, sikonwabise kwangaxeshanye ngalo lonke ixesha. Yiyo loo nto ibalulekile into yobana uhlala uhleli kunye nathi singumhlobo wenene FM.
How does it get from us to your radio, TV, cell phone, and more? Let's go take a tour.
From the outside, it's easy to assume that the SABC headquarters in Auckland Park, Johannesburg is just like any other building from the 1970s.
But for those who venture beyond the automated doors of this grand dome, an intriguing story awaits. A story of an evolving SABC, one that has stood the test of time and technological advancement. An SABC that continues to be a leader on the broadcasting landscape.
From the moment you step onto the steep escalator and ascend into the SABC Radio Park building, you know you're entering a national treasure that boasts a rich repertoire of stories and valuable lessons.
Soon you are greeted and introduced to one of the most distinctive art collections of South African art in the world. The SABC art collection ranges from a bust celebrating the apartheid architect Hendrik Verwoerd, juxtaposed with works of suffering and resistance by artists who were in exile like Dumile Feni and Gerard Sekoto.
The collection also holds works of a different kind of era, such as those of Irma Stern and Pierre Neef, works worth millions in today's art market, alongside our other greats, Julian Mudau, Sam Ntlengetwa, and the late David Kulwani.
Collectively, these pieces reflect the soul of the country's people in all their diversity, much like the SABC's 19 radio stations.
This public service broadcaster was established by an Act of Parliament in 1936 and has undergone a significant transformation from a state monopoly of radio services to a functional and modern institution that promotes social cohesion and democracy in a vibrant multi-ethnic society. In the early years, the SABC operated within the tumultuous time of apartheid and was a radio service only, broadcasting in English and Afrikaans. By 1950, the broadcaster launched its first commercial station, Springbok Radio.
In 1952, isiZulu was introduced. 10 years later, Sesotho and Setswana followed. isiXhosa came in 1963, followed by Tshivenda and Xitsonga in 1965. Since 2000, we added XKFM in the Northern Cape, broadcasting in Qun and Kwe, using Afrikaans as the bridging language. As the custodians of South Africa's archives, the recording of our heritage is a key part of our rich history. This is evident in our museum, where treasure troves of exciting broadcasting equipment adorn the display, a reminder of the evolution of the SABC.
Well, what's the role of radio in South Africa? It's such an important question because in answering that question, we're able to locate the kind of conversations we're having and what they actually mean to the ordinary South African. So how does a conversation in Parliament and some of the processes there, the cases that are before the constitutional courts and many of our other courts, what do those mean for the ability of ordinary South Africans to be able to access their rights, to be able to be part of the conversation? And radio really does that, right? Because it says that your opinion, what you think matters. And the fact that you don't see people's faces, it gives them courage. They're able to speak the truth as they think it, as they see it.
The SABC has steadily evolved over the years, from 3 radio services to boasting 19 radio stations that accommodate all 11 official language groups. This includes Channel Africa, which broadcasts to Southern, Eastern and Western African audiences in 6 languages: English, French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, Solisi and Swahili, allowing us to promote the SABC to the rest of the continent. Collectively, our radio stations reach 30.6 million listeners weekly. But first, let's take a peek at a stage built for performances fit for the grandest dom you know.
M1 Studio is a 300-seater state-of-the-art auditorium. Built in 1976 to host a range of events and live performances, most of which have been recorded and are on your classical music playlist through the SABC airwaves.
The National Symphony Orchestra and the National Symphony Choir, even the London Philharmonic Orchestra, has recorded here at the SABC. This gem has also been used for competitions like the SABC Music Prize and SAMRO Overseas Scholarships. Many a marvelous merit can be attributed to this masterpiece of a creation. But let's go see something else. Our rap studios, not rhythm and poetry, rather rapid audio productions, is constantly pushing the boundaries of what radio advertising can deliver and invests in new and exciting ways to enhance campaigns. Rap Studios boast expert teams of creatives, engineers, translators and professional voiceover artists, like the one you're currently listening to right now. The team has passion and knowledge of the media industry and radio in particular, making Rap Studios great at producing innovative radio and communication solutions and not just 30-second advertisements. Rap Studios offers clients a platform to broadcast their communications on our mediums through seamless processes, which comes across as part of our content.
From conceptualizing and writing adverts, short dramas, radio features, and more. Recording voiceover artists for the adverts in all 11 official languages from our sufficient and substantial voice bank. Laying music for the adverts using our extensive and well-kitted music and sound effects library. Hidden in the core of the Radio Park building is the anechoic chamber. Anechoic from the Latin word meaning no echo. built by a gentleman called Dr. Sher for audio specialists to test microphones, speakers, and other sound equipment. In the 70s, the SABC built its own speakers and the anechoic lab was used to test it. It remains an interesting monument of SABC's history.
If you were to remain in the room for just 10 minutes, you could hear the sound of your own heartbeat. Add another 20 minutes to that, and you could begin to hear the blood pumping through your own head.
Okay, that's a bit dramatic. Time to get out of this chamber.
And it all comes together at Radio Main Control, which is the central nervous system of our 19 radio stations. When something is amiss at one of the 19 radio stations, a signal is sent through our brain main control, and if the issue is not resolved within the space of 20 seconds, music is cued to play until it is resolved. Just like back then when you saw color bars in a crawl saying, "We're experiencing technical difficulties."
Speaking of TV, under the road, there's a tunnel connecting two buildings, Radio Park and TV Center. Television may have had its first broadcast in 1976, but the preparation started far sooner. And this is evident in the construction of our iconic Henley Studios, which were originally built between 1972 and 1974.
Fast forward to now, the public service broadcaster has grown by leaps and bounds in the television segment as well, now covering 5 TV channel simulcast in high definition.
On Friday, tune in for Louis Thorough. The production operations is the biggest of its kind in South Africa, housing 7 production studios that have been refurbished to full HD to deliver the crisp and sharp image that you deserve. Studio 5 is the home of Generations, the first ever South African soapie to follow in the footsteps of international acclaimed soapies. It made its television debut in 1994.
From its birth in the early 70s, Henley Studios has grown into a production and post-production hub for many of SABC's marque properties, including Noord vir Noord, Jam Alley, Studio Mix, and the broadcaster's very first soap opera, Generations.
Don't mention my name.
Movango, the first ever Tshivenda language drama to grace our screens, is a show which celebrates the lifestyle and customs of the Venda people. From animation to eye-catching text to motion graphics, our Creative Cloud and Cinema 4D studios will leave you hungry for more.
However, we can't conclude any conversation on Henley without mentioning sports. It was from these studios that a signal was sent out to millions of South Africans, carrying the images of our first Rugby World Cup in '95, African Cup of Nations in '96, and many other moments of sporting history.
Today, our sports team and talent continue to bring South Africans their weekly dose of sports through sports talk shows and live outside broadcasts, with the support of the Outside Broadcast Facility.
SABC TV Outside Broadcast Unit boasts of 4 large-sized outside broadcast units. These heavy vehicles have dual expanding sides and have a setup similar to a Henley studio. Allow us to travel with you from the city lights of Johannesburg to the dusty villages that you've never heard of. 10 fully HD outside broadcast units are divided into production, sound, video transfer, and vision control rooms.
We've got multi-purpose units comprising of a 5-camera setup which enables easy recording of production, fly-away kit, a portable OB unit that is packed in suitcases and set up very quickly on site. The 8-camera kit can be carried on a commercial aircraft by the crew, without having to worry about excess baggage costs due to smart weight-saving techniques. Digital Satellite News Gathering Unit, or DSNG as it is popularly known, is a transmission van used mainly for live events. Only a cameraman and a technician are required to operate this unit, and we have the Hybrid ENG. It is the result of the synergy between SABC technicians. They created a unit that combines the strength of various technologies. This hybrid unit allows advanced technologies to be deployed anywhere and anytime using IP over mobile and satellite links. SABC TVOB prides itself on various support and specialized broadcast devices, such as the gyroscope that uses the Earth's gravity to help determine orientation while mounted from the belly of a helicopter. We've got drones and other toys for boys.
And girls. While the SABC boasts of all the state-of-the-art facilities, it also takes pride in its professionally trained crew with unmatched experience that support all of SABC television, from Content Hub to SABC News. This final control center is the heart of TV operations. The highly skilled unit ensure uninterrupted broadcast. Our mission is to crisscross the length and breadth of this country with you without fail. This to bring you breaking stories and a variety of entertainment. From the break of dawn at the starting lines of every marathon to the nail-biting final results of every election, all the glitz and glamour of any and every event, we make sure that we bring these events into your living room and onto your screens. SABC television touches 23.3 million viewers weekly.
We do not speak with one voice. We let every voice in our nation speak with expression through language and in culture.
It is inspiring to see the transition of SABC News. It has grown to include Channel 404, multiple language bulletins, and up-to-date weather. As we continue to usher and embrace digital transformation, the SABC took a giant leap and launched the SABC News app. The app provides access to daily breaking news and updates, live streaming events of national importance, live streaming of all SABC radio stations, as well as archiving all of this in a digital suite. We do not just teach, we empower all people with education that's true to where they are now and where they want to be.
We do not just bring you the news, we place you where the news is happening, even at great danger to ourselves.
We do not just entertain, we take you on journeys that hold you spellbound, freeing you to experience every emotion that lives within you.
We do not just broadcast sport, we create an arena for sporting heroes to inspire future generations.
Ours is not a job, it is a calling to ensure that everyone in our nation is informed, educated, and entertained.